guys, welcome to Vee Talks, episode I'm here with my friend Nydia. She's been a long-time friend since like high school, freshman year?
Yep.
So like
Freshman
a while ago. You don't need to know how many
How many years?
Because time's going.
Still doesn't feel like that many years.
Yeah, so hers is going to be about healing. She kind of went through a lot and it led her down a certain path that, you know, all of us can easily fall into. So first, let's talk about growing up. Like, talk a little bit about your family, about, you know, who you are.
Okay. Well, hello. My name is Nydia. She pretty much knows everything about me. But just for those who don't know me, I am the oldest of three. I have a younger sister and a younger brother. Not too far in age. They're 19 and 18. So we're really close knit. I feel like ever since I was little, I've always just had like a good family. I was really blessed with my family not splitting up, you know, due to like things happen, life happens. But you know, I had a good solid foundation pretty much all my life. Of course, with solid foundation led to very closed, you know, my mom was one of those moms that's like, you cannot do this, and this, like this very typical Mexican mother that's like, you cannot go out, you can't see these kinds of movies, you can't, you know, so it was very much like that. And for me, I felt like there was some, of course, disconnect with my mother, because I'm like, why did she give me from all these things? But you know, now that I'm older, I obviously know now, like, wow, like, thank you, Mom. Thanks, Mom, if you're watching. No, but seriously, I feel like a lot of times I rebelled. I went into a lot of relationships, and I was like too young to even thinking about relationships. And then, you know, I'm here today, and I've learned so much, and I'm sure there's plenty of people, including me and Berenice, that have been through a lot of things that we've learned. We've had to go through our ugly ups and downs, even some caused by our own pride and our own rebelling and all that stuff. So
Good times.
I'm here, yeah. Good times, and we're here to share those things.
So what do you think was the reason that, like, you wanted to steer away from the path that your parents wanted you to go to?
So, I mean, that's a loaded question, only because when I was a kid, like I said, I was very sheltered. My mom really didn't let me do much. You know, I was only allowed, the biggest thing, I was only allowed to go sleep over at my cousin's house. That was like the main crazy thing that I could do. But as I got older and I started to like think for myself and like, you know, think I'm old enough to make my own decisions, you know, we all go through that in our adolescence, very like, I'm my own boss, you know. And so basically, that's how I felt, and you know, at a very young age too. And I mean, so openly enough, I'm able to talk about this. Like a year ago, I wouldn't be able to talk about this, but you know, because I was able to forgive people that have hurt me, and I've you know, well, let's just start off by saying, like, I am Christian. I do believe in the Lord. I have faith. I come from a Christian household. We weren't always Christian, but we actually started going to a Christian church when I was like about 10 years old. So I was still very young. So we had these like standards and like these, you know, this faith that I knew of, but I didn't necessarily live by. I was very like still in that mindset of like, I'm my own boss, you know, and nobody's gonna tell me otherwise. So when I was very young, I was about 7, 8, maybe 9. It's hard to tell right at this point because it's so long ago. But I was unfortunate enough to experience molesting from a very close person in my life at that moment, which was my grandfather. And it's unfortunate that it's a very common thing in this world, in this life. I've met so many amazing women that have literally gone through that and more. And it's insane what it can really do to you in your mind and in your heart and your spirit. And so I was a very like sexual child. Like I just wanted to touch. I wanted something tangible. I wanted to be held. I wanted a boyfriend. Like I wanted all these things. Like on top of being like, you know, young and like wanting love, like it was at a whole like another level because I was exposed to that kind of love at such a young age. And so I wasn't able to truly understand it until I fully surrendered it and I stopped holding on to it. And I gave it to God, and I was like, you know what, like I can't keep this heaviness. Like it's literally eating me from the inside out. So back to your question is like I was very rebellious because I felt like I was old enough to understand what love is and
because
to
what happened
exactly from what happened to me. And so I was like, obviously they don't understand that I get it, you know, and I am way older in my mind than they think I am.
Yeah.
And so with that came with all these like, you know, these choices that I've made along the way with dating a bunch of guys and like kind of like, you know, I wasn't, okay, I don't want to say that I like, you know, laid myself out like thin to any guy. Like I wasn't in that way. I didn't do those things. I was still very scared of sex. Like let's just be real. Like I was very scared of it. Like I actually didn't do it until I was like way older in high school.
Yeah.
And but it was just like a very scary thing because I knew that it was like something that was wrong in my eyes, and when I got older it was like it became this scary thing. But then, you know, I got older again, like I was, you know, in high school. I had this boyfriend that I was with for years, and I really thought that this was gonna be like, this is the person for my life. She
really did.
She was there. She witnessed everything. But, you know, it obviously we were young and immature. I was very immature. I didn't even know what I wanted. I didn't even know how to love this person the right way because I was, you know, I had all these like thoughts of what I thought was love.
Which is false, which is
evil. Yeah, it's very wrong. It's really wrong, and like I said before, very unfortunate that it's so common in a lot of young girls, young boys' lives as well. But so I was able to go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no,
I'm just
no. Do you think that affected the way you looked at yourself, like in high school? Mm-hmm. Did you look at yourself differently? Did you believe that, you know, you didn't really deserve anything else other than that person? Like, because you were scared?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think being someone that has been exposed to those things, like, I had a lot of insecurity, a lot of doubt in who I was, and my identity lied in whatever anybody else told me I was. And at that time, it was this boyfriend of mine, and you know, and he told me I was beautiful. He told me all these nice things. He wanted to be with me forever, like, you know, those promises we get when we're young, you know. And so like it's those things where like I was like, oh my God, like I'm loved, I'm cherished, I'm nurtured, but yet we were young, we were having sex, we were not in alignment with what was right for our souls, like for our minds, and like so which eventually led to me, you know, making mistakes in my own self and searching for love elsewhere while I was still with him. And so like there was clearly a void that I was trying to fill, being in a very young relationship. So like I said, I didn't understand what I was doing. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm feeling this void, I need to fix this. And so I would like go and, you know, behind his back talk to other people and like try to get attention from other like places, and you know, it left me very empty at the end of it. I felt very empty. So, I mean, yes, definitely I do think that was that experience of mine when I was young did carry itself into my future.
And what would you say was, I guess, like after high school, like what path did you take? Like, did you follow what your parents wanted you to do? Did you, you know, what did you do to take the decisions you made towards the next chapter?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. So it's crazy because like I can say that it really, history does repeat itself if you allow it to.
Yeah.
And I did allow that to happen. And once I made the decision to not be in that relationship with my high school sweetheart, I mean that's what you call them, right?
Yeah.
You know, once I made that decision where it's like, hey, I don't want to like do this anymore. Of course it hurt. Of course it was devastating. But I did not allow myself to go through that breakup what I did was I was actually speaking with another person that did catch all of my attention, not just a little part of me where I was like, I just, he makes me feel good in this area or in this area. No, like this guy really took my attention. I dropped, this other person that I was with for years, and I chose this other person. So again, you're seeing like a cycle that like whatever is gonna make me feel better, whatever is gonna make me feel whole, or at least, a counterfeit of whole, you know. So I was with him, and I ended up being with him for a few years, and very blinded by love or lust or whatever you want to call it. I was like, I thought that this was my future, and to kind of give you an overview of that relationship, we did not have any respect for each other towards the end, and even in the middle toward the end, like we lost all respect. All we did was yell at each other, we cussed at each other, like we were just so toxic for each other that because we didn't know, again, we still didn't know how to love. He had his own baggage that he never dealt with since he was a very young kid, so it left us feeling this void that both of us are trying to pull something out of each other that neither of us could have nurtured. So definitely that was a very hard relationship. Would I have left if he didn't leave me? No. I feel like I wouldn't have been strong enough to leave at that moment. So to this point in time, like I thank God that he did leave my life, because there are some people that leave our lives and that we're hurt by. But I'm here to tell you that there's so many people that literally leave your life, but it is so for the better. It is like a blessing in disguise. Like, and you won't know that until like you're completely like out of it. You're vulnerable. Like you're like, oh my God, what do I do now? And in that moment when I was completely vulnerable and I was so like, what do I do? That's when I surrendered everything to the Lord. And like I mentioned before, I have this faith, and that has been what has pulled me out of that dark place, of those anxiety attacks, of that hard time of like dealing with why didn't he want me? Why wasn't I enough? Like how come I couldn't give him all of myself? Like all these questions that we as women may have, but really it's not you, it's that other person. It's them, it's their things that they didn't deal with, that they're trying to avoid. And so again I'm a big believer of you reap what you sow. I did reap that when I was younger with another person. Not saying I was punished in any means, but it does happen. Like when you do wrong, like it'll come right back to you, and you learn by your mistakes. You learn by your own things that you put out there. So he did the very thing that I had done to somebody else, and of course I went through that point. I'm like, oh my God, I'm punished. You're not. Like life happens, and we learn from them, and we grow from them. And to this day, like I can talk about these things without feeling like ashamed or guilty, and that's like the honest goal. Or sad, like and like it's such a it takes a long time, like again, for a lot of people. I know people that are hanging on to things 10 years ago that happened. Like let it go, okay? Like I mean, I know that sounds very like insensitive, but it's so necessary. Like and if you take anything out of whatever I say or whatever you put in this video, is that you have to let it go. Like if you're holding on to anger or pain from years ago, or hurts that people have done or are still in your life that are hurting you, trust me, there's plenty of like hurt in my life still. I have not met my end. I have not met that like, yes, I'm good, Nydia has no problems. I have problems. Like I have issues that I still need to deal with. Like that's my truth. But I can at least sit here and say it does get better, as long as you're open to getting better, and not sitting in that anger and that bitterness and burdening yourself with something that doesn't really even matter anymore.
Yes, you just took my breath away. But yes, and that's like one of the biggest things that I want this channel to be, is just a center of healing. We see so much bad going on, and it's so easy to listen to people like, oh, you'll never do that, or oh, actually, that's not for you. Like just because they don't have it in their heart doesn't mean that you don't have it in yours. So don't let anybody like make you feel anything that you know you're not, because I feel like no matter how low you are, you still know that you are worth it, and you are woken up, you know, every single day, and it's like a brand new start, you know. It's like a very beginning of your essay, and we all hate essays, but we get good grades on them if we do right, you know. And it's like people don't talk about these mental health issues, and people don't talk about, you know, letting go, and that's why she was amazing for this video, and I wanted you to just, you know, share your story, because now, where you at?
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, and it's still a healing process. I'm still healing from a lot of different things, and you know, like I said, we're never gonna meet that end, you know, until the day we croak, guys. Come on, like, we're always growing, we're always building ourselves up, we're always giving ourselves new goals and new dreams and new aspirations, and I just encourage you, and of course Berenice as well, being super awesome, and thanking her right now for this opportunity to even like have this platform to speak about, you know, my issues. I mean, but I mean, this is all, you know, for just so that you guys know that whoever's watching, you're not alone. You know, as cheesy as that is, you hear it all the time. Really, like, there are plenty of people that have gone through so much and more, and I'm here as a walking testimony, letting you know that it does get better, and you know, you just gotta keep faith.
Where are you at now in life?
So now I am, I'm happy. no, I mean, not even happy, because happiness, what I've learned is happiness is whatever is happening now, and you know, and so what I carry is as much as I can. I mean, I have bad days. I mean, we have bad days. There's days where we just don't want to do nothing, and I do have those days. It's just, when we do have those days, we have to remember to still have joy. And what joy is, it's something that you carry in yourself, in your heart, and you have access to joy. You have access to peace. You just have to let yourself get there, and not access that anger or that hurt, that pain. Like, so I am very joyful, you know, and I try to be my best that I could be for me, for myself, for my family. Am I a pain in the butt sometimes? Absolutely. Maybe even most of the time. I don't know, but like, you know, it's a work, and we're all work in progress, guys. We're all work in progress. But I can say that, like, because I've let go of a lot of things that really don't matter and don't bring any benefit to my life today, and what was the thing? Now that I let all that go, I'm like, where did I say? What did I say? How did I say that? Okay, so now that I have completely, you know, let go of a lot of different things, not everything, but a lot of things that have been holding me back from confidence, from confidence in myself, from knowing what I deserve. I'm able to hold up the standards that I have for my new relationship now. I'm able to, you know, be an example for my younger siblings, and for people that I surround myself with. I'm able to talk about these things, you know, that even just talking about it is a lot, guys. So, but yeah, it's you know, it's a work in progress. I'm getting there, and you know, healing is definitely necessary. Definitely. Yeah. Can I say definitely? Definitely.
All caps, bold.
That's a word right there.
Italicized. Alright, guys. Well, that's it.